We are headed out on another adventure for a couple nights, camping. I'm very excited, very excited, especially because this is a rather special trip. This trip, Frank and I are celebrating 11 years of adventure together. Tomorrow he will be 12. We celebrate his birthday on the anniversary of his adoption because he was 1 year, pretty much exactly when I adopted him. I don't know his exact birthday, but yeah, we're gonna have a great time and hopefully we find somewhere real nice to camp. You doing good there, bud? Yeah. So the plan today is to paddle about 4 kilometers to an island where I hope to camp. But if we get there and it's full, because it is a Friday afternoon, then we will have to turn around and paddle back this way into the wind. So right now it's going really easily because when I stop paddling, we keep going the direction we're going. But yeah, it's a nice day. It feels really hot. It is above 30 Celsius, which isn't super hot, but it's new to us this year because it never got anywhere close to this on Haida Gwaii. And if you missed my last video, we're on Vancouver Island, where I grew up. Yeah, we're spending the summer here. We're gonna have lots of great adventures on the lakes and on the ocean and on some trails, a lot of overnight trips and some van projects. So that said, I do not want to get pushed into shore, so I must paddle again. So both the campsites on that little island were occupied. So now I'm paddling very hard into the wind up the other side of the lake. All right, bud, come on. Yeah. Nice. We're gonna spend the night here, Frank. I think we can put the tent right there. Thankfully, I didn't have to paddle too long into the wind before I found this little beach. It's kind of protected from the wind and it's not on a map. So, yeah, that helps. You know, even if there had been a site on that island, like I'd hoped, they didn't have beaches. They weren't like easy access for Frank. They were up rocky slopes. So it was for the best. And I thought about continuing back up the lake, but I could feel my arms are toasty. I just spent 2 hours in direct sun on the water. So I think, considering this has just shown up here for us and it's in the shade, we should just hang out and swim in the lake and just have a nice time. Do you want to go swimming? Do you want to go swimming? Come on. Yeah, bud. Let go. The lake is a really nice temperature. It's cool enough to be refreshing, but it's not cold. Like, it doesn't take your breath away. I mean, yeah. It doesn't make me squeal, but it's very nice. Very nice. I'm excited for this. I'm so grateful to have spent the past 11 years with Frank, adventuring together and just being buddies. There it is. I just told him he cannot lay there because that's where I'm about to set up the tent. and he just did it anyways. He doesn't care. And now he is wet and covered in sand, which is also why I stopped paddling when I did, so that he would have time to go swimming and enjoy himself and then dry off before he wants to be in bed. So this whole trip is for Frank. So we're doing it the way that works best for Frank. So I've set up our tent because this is like a celebration, Frank. It's a celebration of 11 years together. I decided to treat myself as well. So I brought fancy camp dinners as opposed to the ones I make myself that, although they're very affordable and they're tasty, I've eaten them hundreds of times. So I have this West Coast Kitchen Persian bean bowl. This is made here on Vancouver Island, so I'm really excited to give that a try. I think I'm going to try this tonight because it sounds like something that would maybe go good with an avocado. And I have avocados. I brought 3 avocados that needed to be eaten before we get back from this trip. So, and then I have this one from the UK, fire pot, porcini mushroom risotto. I'm excited about that for tomorrow. I have brought an entire loaf of bread from the bakery. I went to the bakery this morning. I have nibbled on it because I was getting hangry and I had to belt a filter water. And I brought this jar of peanut almond butter. It's almost 2 pounds. So I probably should have just put some almond butter in something else, but I wasn't thinking. I was very distracted, a lot of my packing, and I have not brought my inflatable pillow. So, but it seems I have everything else. So yeah, for food, I just brought those 2 dinners, the bread, the avocado, the almond butter, and like a few bars. We're only out for 2 nights, so it'll be fine. It's plenty of food. It just feels weird. And for Frank, I brought Frank food. I found his proper food bowl, which is exciting because last time I fed him out of his water dish and it was a little small. So I'm going to make him dinner. He's an eager beaver who deserves a big yum stick. It is pepperoni. And you might recall from previous birthdays, I make him pancakes on his birthday. So that'll have to wait. I'll make him pancakes after this trip when we get back. But I'm going to share the bread with him and some almond butter so he can have his dough snack tomorrow. But I brought him lots of treats and we're going to have a nice time. It's going to be an early night tonight. So I'm tired. I am exhausted. I have not filmed for 2 weeks, so this also just feels a little awkward. I got Frank this freeze-dried cooked chicken cubes. He gets a third of it tonight and then the other 2/3 tomorrow on his birthday, but I thought he'd appreciate that, make his dinner a little extra special while we're out here. Well, dinner was really filling. I tidied up, tied my food over in the trees. It's in an ursack. So was the last paddle trip. I always use an ursack. I've used an ursack for a long time now. And I'm going to go to bed. It is 8:20. I'm exhausted, so Frank and I were gonna just lay down and relax, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock. Yeah, I've already taken down the tent because we're going to be moving camp today. I figure this spot, there's like no shade. I'm about to lose this little tiny bit of precious shade I have. And there's shade in the forest, but it's a big step to get up into it, so that's not really good for Frank. But yeah, I figure I'm gonna eat some breakfast, make coffee, have all my drinks and stuff, and yeah, we'll just paddle up the lake while it's calm and quiet and find somewhere it'll be nicer to spend the day. I brought my cup this time. I found it in my storage locker. Good morning, birthday boy. I love you, Frank. And part of my morning routine is going to be preparing my water for the day with Element, and Element is the sponsor of today's video. I've tried a lot of electrolyte mixes over the years, and Drink Element is by far my favorite. They have tons of tasty flavors, including some really unique ones. But most of all, it's effective, and it's really important whenever you sweat to replenish those electrolytes, because electrolytes do play a vital role in tons of different functions within the body. I notice I have a lot less cramping and way less headaches when I drink enough water with electrolytes. And on a day like today where I'm working hard paddling and it's really hot out, I'm sweating a ton, and so adding electrolytes to my water makes a huge difference. This afternoon I wasn't really in a sweet mood, so I actually put the raw unfiltered in here, and it's really good. It's just a little salty tasting, which, I mean, you're replenishing your electrolytes, so it should taste a little salty. But then I decided to freshen it up a bit, and I added some real lemon crystals, and it's super nice. So that's just an idea for some of you who might not be into the sweet flavors like watermelon or raspberry, which are a couple of my favorites. One of the things I really appreciate about Element is it doesn't have any sort of filler or artificial color or flavor or sugar or gluten or anything like that. Just the science-backed blend of electrolytes in a way that tastes great and is easy to make. So if you'd like to give Element a try, go to drinklmnt.com/TIDELINETOALPINE and make any purchase of either the drink mixes or the new sparkling beverage, and you're going to get the sample pack included. The sample pack has 8 of their tasty flavors, so you can see which one you'd like to try next or share with a friend. And no matter how many times you've purchased before, if you go to drinklmnt.com/TIDELINETOALPINE, you're going to get the sample pack included with purchase. So if you're a repeat customer like myself, then make sure to use the link, which supports the channel and gets you that free sample pack. Thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video, and now back to me earlier today. The birds have been very lively here this morning, more lively than I am. Oh, you want to swim again? Thank you. Oh yes. Really need to cool off before I can finish packing and load the board up. I cannot get over how intense the sun feels. It's really nice, but at the same time, I gotta be careful. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get badly burnt. So yeah, I'm looking forward to paddling today, getting out on the lake before the wind gets insane. Hopefully it doesn't pick up before we can make some good distance and yeah, go check out the other end of the lake. We kind of launched in the middle, came downwind to this end. It was about 5K. Now we're gonna go back the way we came from and past where we launched. And yeah, I have a map that shows like a bunch of primitive campsites up in that area, so hopefully one of them will be available for us. Are you ready for adventure, bud? There we go, bud. comfortable? Are we gonna have a fun day? And we're gonna go that way. You know, I really enjoy the view and the motion of standing to paddle, but I've just tucked into this little wind shadow here, and I'm gonna put on the second blade so I can sit down with Frank. I think it'll make it a little bit easier to stay straight in the wind. Yeah, whenever I go out on trips like this, I bring the second blade, and then I can switch from standing to kayak mode. The handle just pulls off and the blade goes in, and it's really easy. And now I get to be down here with Frank. It's a better view of Frank from down here. Standing is a better view of what's under the water. Sitting is a better view of Frank, and that's what matters today. It's a beautiful day. I got passed by a family in a canoe. That's the thing with these boards. They're not the fastest way to get around. In all my paddle camping experience where there's been other people around, anyone in a kayak or canoe definitely passes me easily. That's pretty neat. Oh, yeah, cool. So we have found ourselves at Loon Bay, which isn't a surprise. It looks like a nice place to hang out. We'll have shade for a while. And this spot has shade still, which means it'll have shade in the morning, which would be really nice. Is that the place we put the tent? he'll always end up laying down where I intend to put the tent. So it's nice we're on the same page about where a good spot to lay down is. We're gonna hang out here all day, Frank, and we're gonna go swimming, and we're gonna have treats, and we're gonna have just the best time, bud. Do you agree? Yes. Okay. First the tent, then snacks. Hi. Oh yes, this is amazing. The breeze, the shade, there's a nice view. Yeah, feels good to be all set up, and I think I'm actually going to eat some food and make a second coffee, but very stoked on this. Yeah, I'm just like right behind my tent. There we go. Perfect camp. And then I've got all my food stuff here. Frankie's there on a blankie waiting for me to join him. It's not quite birthday pancakes, but it's the next best thing. We have a loaf of bread. Ooh. Do you want one more? I've made a cup of instant coffee with just lake water that I filtered, so it's not hot. And I got myself nice instant coffee. This one is Counterpart Coffee. So it's roasted in Squamish. Very nice couple that roasts it. This trip feels really special, not just because it's Frank's birthday and we're celebrating 11 years of adventuring together, but also because I grew up on the island here and it's really fun to make new memories and to be able to do that with Frank. Our first paddle camping trip ever, we launched from Denman Island, which is off of Vancouver Island, and we went to like a smaller island. And if you haven't watched that video, you should definitely go back and watch it. I'll put it up here. I think it's this side. And yeah, it was like we were so far in over our heads, like just didn't know what to think about. So we've come a long way. I can see that in our trips, in my comfort on the water, and my ability to manage conditions, and yeah, it feels really good. It feels good. This is my first ever lake paddle. Actually, I might have never paddled in a lake on Vancouver Island before, so that's pretty cool because I grew up here. So we're paddle camping, and we're gonna do a bunch of it this summer. Hopefully that all works out, and yeah, I just want to have as many adventures with Frank as possible while he's around, and getting a paddleboard was a great way to do that because he loves sleeping in the tent. He loves like camping. We had so many great memories backpacking, but he can't be walking. So this is now our third summer with the paddleboard, although we didn't do any camping last summer because we were up north. But it's a great way for us to get out together, and the board is stable, so I can have a relaxing time even in windy conditions, or like even if the lake's a little rough, I can still have a relaxing time hanging out with Frank. And most importantly, absolutely most importantly, is that he's comfortable. He can lay forward, he can lay facing me, he can lay side to side. Like, he has room to move around and take up as much space as he wants, and there's still room for our stuff and for me to either stand or sit and paddle. So it's really perfect. It's 11.5 feet long, and I think the widest part of the deck is 28 inches. So yeah, it's a great stable board, and it's just plenty of room for us. And the thing is I did get a watercraft first and foremost to have adventures with Frank. So, you know, there's a lot of different options out there, different ways to go about getting out on the water in a portable way. You know, like a kayak or a canoe you could put on your roof. I'm not going to be doing that. So I wanted something that goes inside. So there's like the folding kayaks, there's inflatable SUPs, and then there's like pack rafts. And of those three, this is by far the best option for going out with a dog. So it's been great, and I really look forward to, yeah, more summer adventures with Frank and the paddleboard and camping. How you doing, bud? Do you want to go swimming? Should we go for a swim now? Go play in the lake, chase some sticks, play fetch. Yeah, okay. been a very nice day today. It's good to see Frank so relaxed and content. He had a bunch of sniffs this morning, sniffs and sights on the paddle. He was very engaged with it, and then swimming and laying in the sun, and he is tuckered out. It's like not quite 4 p.m. So yeah, can just relax, enjoy being here. I've been thinking a lot about that I've had 11 years of adventures with Frank. I feel really grateful for that. I've been thinking a lot about our past 11 years of adventure together. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, but it's been great, and I feel really lucky to have had this long with him already, and I'm just grateful for every day we get to continue to have, and just gonna try to make the most of our time and have lots of adventures. I think we've found a good way to go about it with his age that's engaging for him but still allows him to have the rest he needs. So yeah, it's been nice. The day I got him, I borrowed somebody's car to drive from Squamish down to the ferry, walked on the ferry, and then I got picked up by the girls that were fostering him and went and met him and decided right away that yeah, we would be doing life together. And they dropped us back off at the ferry, and we had to walk on the ferry together and hang out on the lower deck. And he was so scared to walk on the metal grate, so I actually carried him onto the ferry. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Like our first day together, I had to carry him, and now I do that every day. I didn't realize when I bought this that we kind of match now. Yeah. I was laying in the hammock thinking about our first week together. We went supping, we went paddleboarding, we went kayaking on the ocean, which he did not like. He did not stay in the kayak very well. He enjoyed paddleboarding. He would walk all over the board. So it was a bit more exciting for me than it is now. But I went horseback riding, and he ran behind, and that was the first time he ever crossed a creek. Because he didn't really want to, but he was very attached to me from the beginning, from the moment I took him and we were dropped off at the ferry. He was very attached to me, and he was quite a defiant pup, and he wouldn't always listen to me, but he would like want to stay at the park or something, and he would like, huff and lay down and refuse to come when I called him. He wouldn't come. I knew he could, because occasionally he did, but I would just be like, okay, bye, and I would walk away, and he would be right at my side instantly. So I never worried about losing him, ever. He was extremely loyal to me and me only from the very beginning, which was nice, because I didn't really know how to train that in a dog. But yeah, we also went mountain biking and trail running and hiking and bouldering. We had a huge first week together. Really just kind of threw him in off the deep end, which I don't know is like the right way to do things, but that was my life at the time, and yeah, he fit in perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna have avocado for my snack, and I have this true lemon because I like to have salt on my avocado, but I didn't bring any salt because I wasn't thinking. So all my salt is in the form of element. But we're going to try this lemon on the avocado. I think that'll be good. Because I don't really think sprinkling element on here would be as good. Let me see. Oh! That's good. That makes it like really fresh and bright tasting. It's warm, eh? We can go for another swim soon. I'm going to the lake again. It's nice to be away from the van. It's nice to be out of service. There's no phone service since before we even left the highway. So it's nice. It's a real good escape. Just be here in the moment, me and Frank and you. And yeah, it's great to just kind of like unwind. It's been a real big few weeks leading up to this. And it really hit me like a wall yesterday, but I feel a lot better already. Just eating well, staying hydrated, and yeah, just being grateful for this beautiful experience. Hiding in the shade to make dinner. I've had enough sun on my skin. I'm gonna make Frank's dinner with the chickens. He's up laying in the shade. Yeah. I've had more than my fill of sun on my skin for the day, so. All right, I'm excited to try this. Gonna give it another stir. It's a lot of food. It looks like risotto. Very mushroomy. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. But the thing is these meals are so expensive. This one was $19.50 plus tax. That's like, I've seen ones that are 25, so they're kind of like 15 to 25. Which, if you eat that every time you go camping and you camp often, like that makes camping food really expensive. Which is why I mostly eat the ones I've made, because I make them for like a couple dollars. Nice treat though. And Frank seems to be enjoying his freeze-dried chicken kibble. Water, Frank? Oh, you had such a big drink. There you go. Do you want to eat the rest of your dinner now? I went to hang our food bag and I found a handful of berries. So that's really nice. I didn't really bring anything for dessert. I'm also really full from that dinner. So this is nice. Something fresh. Well, good morning. I am so happy I chose us a camp where we have morning shade, because it is 9:15. I've been up for a little bit, snuggling with Frank, and then I've gone and gotten our food bag. I'm gonna make coffee here. Oh, enjoy our little den for a bit before it's time to pack up and head back to the world of phone service and chores and work and stuff. I am moving slow today, partly because I got way too much sun yesterday, partly because I told myself yesterday that I would move slow today. It's very nice. Yesterday, waking up in the blaring sun with the tent like a hot box and no shade was really harsh, actually. Not a great way to start a day. But we had a great day. We had a really great day yesterday. It was so nice. It was such a beautiful evening. It was really nice hanging out here with all the birds and the dragonflies and damselflies, and yeah, just all the little fish in the shoreline. Yeah, it's been great. But I did end up getting quite emotional last night, sitting out here watching the light fade from the sky with Frank, because he's 12 now, and that's really old. And dogs only get so old. So it was pretty sad. Hey, bud. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on that we still have each other. We're going to go on some great adventures as long as we can. First, we need coffee. All right, I have got us all packed up. It has been a most amazing morning here. Very nice. So much action at Loon Bay. A lot of birds, a lot of loons, a lot of dragonflies and damselflies. It's been very nice. And so there's just one last thing to do before I load all of this onto the board. And that is for me and Frank to go swimming so we're wet and cooled off before paddling in the sun, because there is no wind today. And yeah, it's pretty hot out already. Good boy. Let go. There you go. I'm honestly quite glad we're leaving now, because I just saw the hugest leech and I had a really nice time not realizing they were there. So, yes. Are you clean? Goodbye, camp. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it. I just saw, my heart is racing. I just saw the creepiest bug. I saw something like moving on the surface. It's totally flat, so it was obvious. And it kind of looked like a leaf, but like a leaf hybrid with a scorpion. It was so gross. I'm not usually skittish of bugs, but I've never seen anything like that. I usually don't like new ones, but it was scared of me and like went down. But for a moment it came like straight towards us and I was like, ah! Anyways, yeah, beautiful, super serene morning. Hey, bud. You having a good time, Frank? Yeah? You're a good lookout. We've been slowly making our way back towards the van, and we've stopped twice to go for a swim to cool off, and I've just found this shady spot. So we're gonna hang out here for a while, possibly as long as the shade lasts, and just enjoy this beautiful day before paddling back to the van. And I just don't want to get back too early because I want to time it so that on my way home I can stop and get takeout for me and my grandma, because it has been a really, really hot weekend and it's going to be really hot at her place, and I don't think either of us are going to feel like cooking, so I thought that'd be a nice treat And yeah, thank you so much for joining us for this really special celebration of Frank turning 12 and 11 years of adventure together. We had such a great time, and I'm really grateful that we found a bit of solitude and have some quiet time, just me and Frank, to hang out and relax and make some nice memories together. We did come out on a weekend, which I'm generally going to avoid, and it is the hottest weekend of the year so far, so considering that we're in the islands lake country, yeah, I think it worked out really well. It was more people than I expected, but we found a spot. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. Thank you for all of the well wishes for Frank for his birthday and for our anniversary together. I appreciate you joining us on this adventure, and I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already so that you can join us next time for another adventure.